And good morning. Good morning. I'm Ani. I'm here with you this morning on This Is Now Bridge to a Better World, all by myself. Because, in fact, the lovely Miss Theresa, my beloved and fasted partner, is experiencing some back issues that is preventing her from actually coming forth and sitting up and being a part of this morning. So we wish her well. We'll let the cuckoo clock do its thing. There it is. And now let's chat for just a moment. This will be a relatively quick show, but I wanted to have an opportunity to share with you some of the things that have really started coalescing for me about a way forward, about some next steps. What we really, I think, okay, we have had the shock settling in, and for some of us, it wasn't so much a shock as a, "Oh, damn, my fears are playing out right in front of me." Really hoping we didn't have to go there, but here we are. Uh, Fascism has been voted in by a slim majority of the voting populace, and we see that many folks are so disenchanted with this system of corporate rule, of oligarchic influence, that they have just sort of become non-participants in the system. We see the huge numbers of folks not voting over the years, and why is that? How is that? And what can we do? Well, I believe very, very strongly that our way forward is not, I think we kind of blew it, actually 7, 8 years ago. Our way forward is not just to resist what the maggots are wanting. Our way forward is not defined in the negative, right? To resist is not enough. We actually have to build. There is the concept of overgrowing our government, right? What if we actually developed a movement? What if we grew a movement? What if we became a movement of people who took care of each other, who met at local levels to problem solve what it is that particular community needed, whether it's childcare, whether it's fixing up houses, whether it's creating victory gardens to feed people, whether it's whatever it is, perhaps a low cost health clinic, perhaps good ways of interacting with each other. What do we want to build? What do we need? And then we need to get about the business of building it. We need to create a civil society that actually will serve the people because we understand, right? Clearly, we understand that we cannot count on the federal government, and rarely can we count on actual state governments either, depending, some states better than others. And so we have to actually grow a movement, and this movement actually needs to have all of the parts. We need music, right? I was starting to think the other day, like, we not just protest music, but music that inspires, music that brings us together. There was a lot of music in previous movements, and I've noticed a supreme lack thereof lately. We need artists that are making art and visions that we can coalesce around, that fire our imaginations, that inspire us. We need to share inspiring works, uh, actual utopian novels, and not just getting stuck in our dystopian novels because, well, it kind of resonates with us right now, and it kind of, wow, a little escapist because, yeah, I can sort of see myself in this dystopic future. No, no, okay, I'm not saying give those up entirely. I love dystopian fiction. Fiction. But I do believe that we create what we focus on. And so let us actually fill our minds and fill our imaginations with utopian visions. Let us share inspiring thoughts. Let us work towards something. Let's coalesce a movement out of many movements. This is not the time to be precious. What do I mean by that? In my past, I was a worker at a feminist, I always called it lesbian summer camp, at a feminist music festival. And I would sign on for a month or 2 months long cruise so that we could build this paradise together and enjoy some music that I was never that into. But we built this paradise together, and by golly, we're just gonna be the most kind, most sharing, most wonderful, uh oh, okay, except I get it. Okay, so this area, the campground, will be sectioned off for everyone who, is a vegetarian, because we understand vegetarians don't necessarily want to camp next to people that will be cooking and eating and thereby sharing the vibe of meat. Okay. Right. And then, okay, well, this actually, now we're going to subdivide this into the camp that these are for all the women that are sober because they don't want to be next to the people. Okay, cool. Got it. Don't want to trigger that and don't want to put temptation in front of it. Got it. Okay, and these are actually for the women that, and these are actually until somebody made, and so at some point it became such, it was so fraught to figure out where exactly one was to camp around neighbors like them, that it was no longer feeling like a big party of united, joyous women celebrating women and music. It sort of felt like everyone breaking down into the tiniest, tiniest camps that we could say, yeah, I can relate to you. Those others are kind of suspect. And I see this happening in in political groups, in the groups I've worked with over time. There's some folks that really feel like purity is the only way, and if you do not live the most austere life now, then you're a traitor to the revolution. I've been called a traitor to different parts of the revolution because I do believe workers need rights, even if we're working in nonprofit feminist organizations. Uh, and I think we throw around this like splitter, traitor to the revolution. You're not so good. Starhawk actually, I put it very well by saying that she believes that those of us who really want a better world, those of us who are pushing left, have a good um, have a good history of telling folks that we are not good, that in fact we have a lot to contemplate and feel pretty bad about so that we can get on with making it right. Whereas the right wing, whereas the maggots have been fed this, you are perfect, you white supremacists. Yeah, you know you reign supreme. You're great, just like you are. In fact, go ahead, be a little bit more rotten, right? Go ahead, be a little meaner. Uh, really gotta own those libs, right? And so, what happens? What movement is going to inspire people, right, to join it and to feel good about themselves? And so, I am actually thinking it's important. It's important that we value each other and that we tell each other we're actually good. We are good people. We are striving to make the world better. We are striving to make the world kinder and more compassionate. And we actually, in that process, have to become kinder and more compassionate. We cannot sit back and say, "Well, at least we're pure." We don't wanna work with other people that, may need to, come a bit further down the road on their thinking around whatever it is. Insert divisive issue here, because every issue can be divisive. But what we gotta do is work towards building common ground. We have to work to build relationships, to get to know each other past sound bites. I'm personally going to be active in, I've talked about being active in emergency response, coalitions, building, towards surviving disasters with our neighbors, right? So getting involved in neighborhood emergency teams, that sort of thing, because when the chips are down, no one is going to really care if I'm a vegetarian or a vegan. When the chips are down and people are being flooded or, wildfires are encroaching, no one's really going to care about my, economic, philosophy. These are not survival issues in those moments. So we can build coalitions, we can build networks, we can build relationships with people who have different life experience than us, and that's great because then we get to know each other, and we have to humanize each other. I'm gonna get involved in neighborhood coalitions again. I used to be, got busy. Now I've got some space for that in my life. And so again, working with my neighbors to humanize, what are genderqueer anarchist feminists? What is which? It's me. I'm the same person that takes great notes at meetings. I'm the same person that will work the phone banks, right? I'm that person. I also happen to be genderqueer. I also happen to be an anarchist. I also happen to be a witch. Welcome to Popping Stereotypes 101. First, we build relationships. I think those are my thoughts this morning. It's not enough to resist, right? For the first Trump tour, there were a lot of signs that said resist. The resistance, was very, parts of it were very much, uh, Les Miserables feeling, the resistance carries on. But we couldn't actually work together to build things um, well, because we really wanted to keep those lines that divided between centrists and liberals and progressives and radicals and anarchists and on and on and on until I couldn't figure out which camp I could go to, right? Um, it's important that we reach across those ideologies. It's important that we build relationships and stay open to learning from each other. We have to move forward together. Uh, and I'm gonna say we have to move forward in joy. We have to have fun. We have to keep a sense of humor. I think it is absolutely true that the best revenge is living a good life. We have to stay loving. We have to stay compassionate. And perhaps we have to build our capacity to love and to be compassionate because this has been a hard time. And I know that many of us have been impacted and have, had to become hardened in some ways. But I'm asking right now that we try to soften in some ways and that we get back to being open and together building a colorful, vibrant, inclusive movement where, in fact, we strive to rebuild democracy. Perhaps we can fortify it and make it true to its promise, which I don't think it ever really we hadn't gotten there yet, and now we've gone so far backwards. So let us actually rebuild and rebuild it better and to to move forward in an inclusive world, striving for sustainability, for peace. Harm reduction is a good thing, and, just like John points out, the perfect is the enemy of the good. Harm reduction is important. And right now, what we can do to bring comfort and ease to those folks that are most targeted, to those folks that are most hard hit right now in this current system and the system that's about to, oligarchic patriarchs on steroids on parade that we are witnessing starting up here. We will need to protect each other. We'll need to be open and sharing with each other. Let's move forward together. Let's build a movement. Let's make great art. Let's make great music. Let us create fantastic events. Let us create carnivals of resistance and move into building a world that is for, a world that is for peace, a world that is for beauty, a world that is for truth and music and love. Let's move that direction and let's do it together. That is the key. Let us look for commonality and not division. And let us build a vibrant movement of many movements, right? Let's go forward. And with that, these are the tarot cards I drew today. And yes, they were all upside down. And I'm just going to point out two of them are screaming. We have strength. We have the two of swords. And we have the Hierophant. And what do these mean? Well, screams are being screamed. We are yowling into the void. Um, strength. Strength is here on its head to remind us that, in fact, we are strong, but some of us have sort of become distanced or estranged from thinking of ourselves as strong. We've been beaten down, right? We have been hurt through the last whiles. Talking to all of us that are listening to this because we are marginalized in some ways, right? And so we get estranged and we start thinking of ourselves as small and isolated and overwhelmed in this world of performative cruelty, right? We have to remember that we each have incredible personal power. And when we choose to unite with others who are also making friends with their personal power, remembering, right, putting it back together, remembering our personal power, then again, together we are very strong. Uh, Two of Swords upside down, reminding us that sometimes we're just confused. We've tried to use our analytical selves to figure out which way is up and which way is forward, and sometimes we just can't do it. So it is time to get clarity, and we get clear again, informing and inspiring each other. But take some time and get clear and quell that inner yowl into the void. It's important to actually not suppress it. Go ahead and be upset, be angry, be, I'm not saying, no, just tamp it down. That is not it. But we do need to just sort of express ourselves and then focus on doing the good, right? Uh, Clarity will come. Seek inspiration, seek conversation, seek stories that will inspire us and give us hope until we get that clarity and we can quit with the inner yowl. And the Hierophant. The Hierophant is a card that talks about structure, that talks about um, institutions. I have always considered it the card of the fuddy duddy. Mm, and at the same time, on its head, it really lets us know that we might be out of step with, with the institutions writ large, with that staid world of permanence, the illusion of permanence. And it's really time, it kind of gets into that personal strength and empowerment. It's time to, again, listen to our own conscience, listen to our own selves, and not worry about being out of step, not worried about being singled out because you're not fitting into the I think we're going to be looking at a hyper conformity, right? As the oligarchic bros move in to create some sort of capitalist Gilead. Gilead? Gilead. Um, that conformity is really going to be put out there as a good like we haven't seen in a while. In a while. Don't listen to that, right? We can keep being beautiful, keep being vibrant, and keep being weird. We uh, we really have to lean into our inner authentic selves if we are going to make this movement powerful and strong. All right. And that is what I have because the movement is empowered as we are empowered. And we have to be living our authentic selves and our good lives in order to move close to our power, in order to act from our own inner seat of power. Okay. And so get strong, be your wonderful selves, and link up. Together, we will move forward. Um, I also want to mention okay, so this is now Bridge to a Better World. That's what you are watching. I am, when I am not talking in front of a live stream camera once a week, other things I do with my life is I am a witch and I teach witchy things. I have a 13-month course, and it will be starting in mid December. We start with the winter solstice, and we work on connecting to our inner wisdom, to our guides and ancestors, and to the sacred energies of the earth that surround us all. Uh, Twice a month, we get together and note the changes of the season, the changes of the energies, and how we are manifesting that in our lives, how we co create our lives with the divine so that we can, in fact, live our best lives and integrate our spiritual paths into our daily practice. If you are interested in joining me in this 13-month uh, course, uh, please do. Please do. And I will leave my email address in the notes here in the description for this particular episode. It is AniRaven at gmail.com. Ani, like the bird, Raven, like the bird, at gmail.com. And it would be great to have you in the class. Um, Yep, that's it. It's gonna be starting in December, and we will be covering, tarot, meditation, scrying, and again, connecting with ancestors, guides, and divinity, weaving our best lives together, creating a stronger whole. So there's that. I'm very excited, to be going into this, the 4th cycle of that class. AniRaven at gmail.com if you would like to join in that. What else can I say? Yes, we keep promising that we are going to create time to come together in a coffee shop in real life. It is still in process. Teresa's um, backspin, as it were, has thrown a little wrench in that work. But we will be putting that together. And all right, I think that's everything for us. For me, I will pass on your well wishes to Theresa. Forward together. Let's build a strong movement. Let's not worry about our divisions. Let's not argue about those finer points while we have our world to save. We can always work out those details later. Love you all. Thank you for being with me this morning. So very glad to see everyone. Let's do this again next week, shall we? Um, I will go ahead and just use Teresa's line while she's not here. Our love goes out to you and all the ships at sea. Take care. Be well.